MDL, and now they're in for a potential 2 more games.
Now we are going to be starting things off. As you can see, the Bankhead buffs is real. GPX all blued up. Not exactly sure why blue, but it seems like they are in a vicinity to go for that as well. But now from A8, they are going to be playing as of yet. This is going to be them up on screen. And they are going to be starting things off on the blue side. It is going to be a long day for them. And hopefully, it is going to be close. Because I am hoping that AA Esports is going to get that 2-0 sweep. While GPX only needs 1 game. So it is going to be a tough one. But as you can see, the drafts are on and set. And I'm looking forward to see whether or not can they deliver.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the side of AA Esports. And again, right, you look at the team cam. This is not the usual office that we see AA Esports in. They are still at the MDL area. So again, there's not much time for them to go for the reset. They come off a full best of 3, and now it's time to reset your mind and come back to SPS, because MDL is a different ball game. It's a different environment. The drafts might vary also. It really comes down to if AA Esports can adapt back and just quickly reconfigure their drafts for the Snapdragon Pro Series.
Yeah, this is something that I actually need to consider as well. But based on what they're thinking as well, they're still prioritizing the R-load as well, something that is just extremely annoying to deal with. Doesn't want to actually deal with it. But so far, I don't think they have a mental picture of what they're expecting of GPX's draft. So I feel like GPX, they might still lean on what playing that Beatrix once again. So it's something that they may consider trying to deny it away. GPX still afraid of the 1-1. But let's take a little bit of breather here. I know AA Esports are taking a little bit of their time to actually go through the ban phase. They will be banning standard pickups, and that is going to be the Fanny going to be banned off as well. Joy also going to be something that they need to consider banning off. GPX instant response. They're not giving them room to think. I like how GPX is very decisive here.
And I think the interesting part is that AA Esports took out the Fanny, right? Because it's a pick that GPX did go for when they went up against Euphoria, and that game resulted in a loss. Fanny was not really a big issue in that game, and even today, Fanny wasn't really a problem. So AA Esports playing a very, very safe ban phase, which means that we're seeing a lot of heroes getting let through. Once more, Farmist becomes the center of the conversation. We have the Valentina still up, the Glue, the Fredrin, and the Kaja even.
Yeah, I think AA Esports have to play something a little bit more textbook here, just because of the fact that they are a little bit worn out, and playing textbook here is going to give them a little bit of chance to actually play against GPX, whereas towards the draft here, Fredrin is going to be something that they do want to prioritize a little bit more, but they are going to keep options for GPX here. Do they ban the Fredrin or do they ban the Faramis? So it's going to be priority here, but Faramis gets banned off. So AA Esports, options here. Fredrin,
right? I feel like it has to be the Fredrin because
Blue, Eve?
Probably. With how A8 has been, the fact that they have been flexing the Fredrin, I think the value is there. But I do agree. I think like the Glue opening is also not the worst. Though some of these heroes have been relegated to 2nd and 3rd pick instead of 1st. Oh, there it is. So the Glue goes through.
They are going to open things up to try and deal with the Fredrin matchup for GPX. GPX is going to be doubling down whether or not they want to go for the Fredrin for Ray. It seems like they should go for it as well, but no,
there it is.
Ignore it. It is going to be the Benedetta XP lane against the Kaja. And I like how GPX is adapting to this. I think they were watching the MDL, so it makes a lot of sense why AA Esports doesn't really mind this as well. This is a pretty decent matchup, and Double Petrify's coming in. Kadita completely ignored from both sides. AA Esports has the option to actually go for it.
And you know why the Benedetta is not only so good? It's because GPX was in this position. When they went up against Euphoria, they had a Glue for Ziri, and his god went Benedetta for 2 games in a row. So GPX taking a page out of that series yesterday, adapting really quickly. I love this Benedetta so much. You cut the waves, Glue can never catch you, and AA Esports committing to that Kufra so early on.
I was expecting a little bit different here, maybe just because they want to try and open things up for the Assassin playstyle. So tank slot is very much up and open for AA Esports. A little bit of denials here coming in from GPX. They can actually go for the higher booster as well, which is something that I think AA Esports likes to play around this composition. So I guess that is going to be the hero pool for Ozil, right? Like, I think that's something that not many people kind of expect out of him, but yesterday they were actually able to take the game off PPN Strike for this Hayabusa pickup for AAD Esports. So I like that they are going in this direction. But for GPX wise, they will secure down the carry in case AAD Esports goes for the Fredrin. Two very, very tanky composition from AAD Esports. But for GPX, I'm pretty sure they have to deny the Fredrin. But at the same time, why do they need to do so? Because, like it or not, if they even if after this ban phase, they will still get first pick priority for second pick. So it forces AAD Esports to actually ban off junglers instead.
Yeah, we are seeing GPX start to take out all of the goal laners, right? Brody is the first one to go. I'm expecting perhaps we're gonna expect the Melissa to get banned next as well.
Oh,
which is gonna
smart!
Leave the Claude. Wow, actually take out the Hayabusa.
Smart read considering how Ozzy was playing yesterday here. This is gonna be a denial coming from GPX. That is gonna put AAD Esports in a awkward position. What other junglers can actually face up against Fredrin? So AAD Esports, do they go for the coin 50-50 flip? Do they just ban the Fredrin right here, right now? Or do they risk potentially just banning off another mage here? Because as of yet, Farsa is still completely ignored in the pool. So there's pretty much two choices here. Fredrin or Farsa coming from AAD Esports. They have to pick the poison.
In this case, you probably looking at the Farsa, right? There it is.
Fredrin gonna be in the hands of GPX for sure. Unless it's a jungle Benedetta, but it's very, very unlikely here. But no!
They commit to the Lancelot.
Okay!
AA surely now have a Fredrin Engro to go for, right? Fredrin, I think Akai isn't too bad an option, but Fredrin is... GPX is never going to go for the Fredrin anyway, so AA Esports spoiled for choices. They have the jungler to work with, to consider. They also have the gold laner they can pick up right now. The Melissa is on the board. You also have the Claude. Arfi opting for it. This is kind of the big AoE that, you know, was lacking earlier on from ALVA 8, where they took the Brody over the Claude, but now with Claude in the hand of A8, this is starting to look like a very robust composition.
Oh boy, this is a little bit interesting as well, because if right now the biggest problem for AAD Esports is that if they go for a Fredrin, they do have a lot of chain CCs, and these are good heroes to actually deal with a Lancelot. But the problem is, if carry is left untouched, they are going to get completely shredded apart. But no, they're not going for the Fredrin, but they're going for the jungle Paquito. I love this. Let's go. Finally, a team bringing in Paquito. It has been buffed a little bit, but is it relevant enough to be in the making? And so far, with this Paquito in play, Paquito known to be one of the strongest fighters to deal against assassin junglers, gonna be brought in, and GPX forced to go for the Lunox. Adaptation has been made, but GPX, they double down on max HP percentage chunk with this play, and they've got their drops here.
Two very different compositions, and for GPX again, all they got to do is to win this game and they're off to top 4. But AA Esports so warmed up after the MDL series, coming in with a composition that I don't think I've ever seen before. We've seen Paquito in the Open Finals once or twice, but AA Esports bringing out on a potential elimination match. This is something that I find very exciting, especially when AA Esports have gotten one of the most robust compositions that you can ever ask for.
A blast from the past. Once upon a time, Jungle Paquito terrorizing all of Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Finally here in action here. I'm looking forward to see whether or not AAD Esports is going to be able to come over top, because as of yet, they've got a lot to prove after a very, very long game in MDL. Now losing one game due to disqualification here. Can they rise up the challenge and take the 2-0? You got to stick around and find out, because this is going to be the Indonesian pride here for the SPS Pro Series. AAD Esports currently on the blue side, going up against GPX for that title.
One of them will carry the torch for Indonesia into top 4 by the end of this, but AA Esports clearly wanting to put up a fight. And I'm just very, very excited to see how that XP lane is going to work out between Ziri and Fondia, because GPX fell to the Benedetta in yesterday's series, and they also got this exact matchup into the glue.
Oh my goodness. I like how Fondia is just completely bullying Benedetta, knowing he's got a strong first kill in the early stage of the game. Fredo Cutie, you know, gonna get a little bit of harassment, but it's not gonna be a big factor for GPX. So AAD Esports, it all comes down to whether can they sync their rotations around Ozzy. Ozzy going for a damage build Paquito just to threaten the Lancelot a little bit more. So in this case, if they go in for the tanks a lot, it is going to be a problem in terms of damage output. So I'm looking forward to see how it goes.
Ray hitting that 4 off that camp onto Kesu. Slow right down. Ray forced back by Ozu. That's the damage that you were talking about, right? Ozu not even level 4 yet. Was able to push back this Lancelot.
Yeah, that's why you gotta respect the Paquito. It's super underrated. But the problem here right now is that without the War Axe buff come back in the days, this Paquito is not gonna have the traditional one-shot capabilities taking advantage of War Axe now compared to before. So most likely we are gonna see a little bit of a Hunter Strike build coming in from him. And I want to see how it all goes down for now, because as of yet, eventually, this Lancelot will not have the damage to actually threaten the Paquito. But I'm curious to see whether or not can he steal off the turtle, because as of that, he doesn't have the jungle emblem for Ozil.
Fredo QT and Kesu both just hit that level 4. GPX slowly working on that turtle. Fondia trying to run interference, but Ray will secure the turtle for himself. Electro Final Blow also used. Kribu in the mix. Fondia sticking onto them, but the flicker is going to bring Fondia into no man's land. Now the river manipulation unleashed by Ricci. First blood for Ozo.
Oh, nicely done, but it's not over yet. Kesu catches him midway. Fredo QT tries to run for his life, and that's going to be a double kill for Ozil. Oh, when things look too good to be true, GPX, they did what they could, but now here comes the latch on for Fondia. He tries to go in for an extension to punish Ziri, and Ziri has no way to retreat as Ozil continues his onslaught with 3 kills in the bag.
3 kills back-to-back for this Paquito. Dream start for AA Esports. Ray's going to take that opportunity to take this purple buff away. Kesu, unfortunately, late to the party. The good news is that despite Ozo getting 3 kills, not too much of a network advantage for A8, and Ray is 2 levels ahead of this Paquito.
Oh boy, this is the perfect dream game. That's why it's just so strong against Assassin early games as well. And he's trying to actually get a little bit more snowball. And this is where GPX, they have to play catch up to a certain degree. They're setting up an gang with Fredo QT for the catch, but look at how A8 is supposed to position himself. They're just completely ignoring fights. They're playing it safe. They don't need to risk unnecessary fights. And as soon as GPX grouped up, they are losing valuable resources across the map. So be extremely patient for this fight. But Ozil looking for the steals, and he steals it with the retribution. Ah, you hate to see it. You hate to see it for Ray.
Ray's at least a bit fine with it, because Ozo needed the XP. Kesu taking the brush, gonna get kidnapped by the Divine Judgment. You get the Electro Final Blow again, but the River Manipulation is gonna let Ozo get a mega kill streak. Both teams trading 1-for-1. Does GPX have more steam left in the tank? Doesn't seem like it though. Ray cannot contest the camp.
Oh, it's going to be a tough one as well. Ozil is threatening the mage time and time again. That's pretty much the only hero from the side GPX which is easily bullied. Meanwhile, they are going to try and contest the turtle. And once again, a very awkward position GPX is in. They are going to potentially use the Divine Judgment to stall things out. But at the same time, Ray is a bit stalled off as well. Does he get the steal? No, he does not. Messes up the retribution timing. Ozil's going to go. But the flicker catch coming in with the Kufra is going to get one more. Kribu not playing the game at all. Fondia trying to overextend and zone them out. But A8 Esports, they are going to focus the mid lane. And GPX will lose members and bodies for this, but Kesu, he's gonna go for the catch, and when you least expect it, he strikes, and Fredo QT almost getting paid off. Looks very, very cool, but GPX, they have to play this a little bit safe now.
Kesu.
Oh my god, Kesu, really?
He's gonna go for it again. Just has the bouncing balls, cancelling the dash from Watt, but Watt's gonna stand his ground and fight this. Esports not threatening him enough, and now Ray shows up to provide a bit of that help. River Manipulation used just in case. Ray straight onto the Eve with the Thorn Rose, dodging damage, jumping onto RV, forcing the placing to wet out, but Fondia is in the back line, he's trying to get rid of this Lancelot. Kribu now shows up to the party, and Kribu gets the job done. RV goes down, Richie forced away, GPX finds an answer.
Oh, mistakes were made from A8 Esports here. They got a little bit overzealous, but little did they know Ozil was nowhere to be found. They needed Ozil in that fight, and now they are going to try and stall the fight. Tyrant's Rage comes in, but the Brilliance also counters engage as well. The Divine Judgment counterplay is here, but here comes Ozil! He goes in, he kills them all, and he's gonna get the triple! Do not be alarmed. You think you want the fight, but it is gonna be Manny Pacquiao that comes up on top.
If AA Esports win this, definitely on the back of Ozu. 8-3. All the kills on the side of AA Esports in the hands of this Paquito. Ziri will just clear the wave. Ozu needs to be careful. Can't let it get into your head just yet. GPX Dealing with under a 2,000 net worth deficit, all things considered, still not the worst case scenario. Kesu also spotted out by the members of GPX. They want that mid-tier one, but up against Richie's wave clear, it's not going to be easy.
Oh, this is going to be scary coming from GPX. A very huge lead for Ozil. He just got his Hunter Strike and the Malefic Roll. A lot of armor shredding. Tanks a lot coming from GPX, slowly transitioning with the War Axe. I don't think it's going to matter too much. But look at that damage! 2-hit combo. Goodbye, Ziri. GPX underestimating what this Paquito can do. The recent buff finally starting to take effect. And Ray now looking to steal this off. He's trying to bait them off, but guess what? Little did you know, from behind, Kezu tries to stop him. And that is going to be a turtle secured by A8 Esports.
GPX still not too worried. They got the bot tier 1. They traded something back. This is still a very manageable gold deficit. In fact, GPX sticking together as a squad, they will take over that bottom jungle, which is an area that they can access easily. They see Ozil, they see Kesu, the conceal play is there. Kesu instantly clearing out the brush, making sure that Ozil gets that orange buff. GPX on full retreat.
Oh boy, they have to play slow. Ray doesn't have the purple buff as well. So they are going to try and take a little bit breather here to figure out how do they deal with this Paquito, because eventually this Paquito can threaten every single player at GPX and they need crucial items. And what is that? That's going to be written on armor, there's going to be dominance item, that's going to be at least another blade armor to deal with this burst. And while this is all happening, can they find space to get some farm? Because as of yet, the extension with the stun comes in, and now GPX, they will lose members in the fly.
And again, another Flicker Tyrant's Revenge from Kesu. He's so accurate with this cash. Ozil, big opportunity. Ray actually checks it. And Ozil's not going to go, but Kesu commits right now. Ozil shows up. No opportunity just yet. Again, A Esports, they can choose to not overcommit. Meanwhile, the Benedetta, Ziri has to deal with the bottom side, so A Esports creating some space on the map.
Oh my goodness, the amount of damage that he has right now. Look at this, Ozil 24k, and even items as well. He's close to finish off his Blade of Despair, and once that's happened, any combo coming in is going to completely one-shot everyone from aside GPX unless they start building up those items. And as of yet, defensive items-wise, we can see that the Lancelot is actually going for the Thunderbelt. Doesn't necessarily provide the biggest amount of defense, and Dominance Eyes from Kacha is not going to save him from this initial burst. They need more than this. They need an Integras. They need a Blade Armor to actually sustain the way through. And the only way to do that is to stall this game. And GPX, can they find those opportunities to do so?
They're doing a pretty decent job in stalling things out. All things considered, this Lord spawn is going to be crucial. So far, AA Esports have been good on the engages, and that's what's been stopping GPX. Ray also chunked down 70% health. GPX losing all these brush control gives AA Esports so much agency to start this Lord up.
Extremely smart plays coming from GPX as well. They're trying to bait reactions coming in, but eventually the middle turret needs to fall. But looks like here comes the club. Cyrus Rage goes to the wall. They jump on Fredo QT, but they don't have the damage. RP going for the Blazing Duet. They finally finish him off, but eventually they are pushed back, and the tier 1 keeps them out to safety, but they sacrifice Kezu from side AA Esports.
And on the side of GPX, they lost Fredo QT as well. They use everything to catch Ozil, but they do not have enough firepower to finish him off. And unfortunately, we saw the power of the Blazing Duet. Arfi keeping everyone from GPX behind, and Richie with that real world manipulation also zoning out GPX. Lord goes over to AA Esports. 10 minutes in, 4,000 net worth lead. This Benedetta was kind of the key to buy space for GPX, but so far AA Esports have been able to punish Ziri.
Oh boy, this is going to be a close match here coming in from them, but at the same time, with this Lord coming in, it's not going to make things easier for GPX as they need to buy time. And Ziri, he hasn't been able to find those opportunities yet, especially when now he's still buying for a little bit more damage item. He does have the Brute Force Blessed Blade, but it's still not going to be enough to tank through the burst coming from Paquito. But for now, all he can do is going to be clearing waves here. He is going to try and set up, but here comes a catch from Kesu from the side. They knew he was going to do that, but is he going to die? Yes, he will. Ozil will only cut off his final exit entry, and even then, he will be strangled to death.
And Ray is just desperately cutting the waves, cutting the lanes, making sure he doesn't get fouled by this Paquito. GPX able to defend at least that mid inhibitor, but they have a bottom lane that they need to worry about. So far, Kesu so good on those casts. Ray, I don't think you can fight Ozil. No way that he wins that one. Ozil 11-0 out of 13 kills.
Oh boy. boy. Even with the high and dry, it's a little bit too much to handle. And now with the Lord knocking in, Kezu once again looking for interjection. He's thinking to go and catch Karibu, but he doesn't have to flicker. Oh wait, he does have to flicker to extend. But it is a little bit too far-fetched here as they want to take away into the outer tier 2s. Now topside conceal plays. They finally catch Ozil. This is the biggest hunter, and that is huge for Watt. Biggest goal net worth swing for Watt for this fight. And that's exactly what they need for GPX.
Best case scenario, Watt cashes in on the kill. GPS getting some signs of life, losing the bottom inhibitor, but overall, the fact that they were able to stop Ozil, they get the goal for Watt. It's going to give them some more of that agency to kind of shred AA Esports, but GPX has to always remember those flicker Tyrant's Revenge from Kesu has been on point so far. And all these engages is going to destroy GPS because they don't have a front line to sustain in these fights.
Oh boy, with only just killing Ozzy from that fight, Watt was able to get a decent amount of gold to actually scale back in this game, and that is very hopeful. But at the same time, they need one more pickoff like this in order to make a comeback. Ozil, he may have the damage, but this is a glass cannon Paquito we're talking about. He doesn't necessarily have the items to actually fight back. He doesn't necessarily have the items to actually tank this way through, but as of yet, he's only died once. So this is a big factor from AAD Esports. This is the secret weapon coming from him. Whereas GPX, they just need to counter his way through. Now, with the Winds of Nature coming from Watt, that is going to keep the carry alive a little bit more. But eventually, carry's job is to kill the tanks, and Paquito is not a tank.
Yeah, if Paquito gets on top of Watt, I think Watt will just evaporate. But GPS can buy enough time for this carry to really dish out those damage, and maybe we'll see a different result. 4.3k net worth advantage for A8. Ray sees this happening.
Oh, at the same time, Ray, they know where he is, but they can't seem to know where he is. Kezu, they're not checking the back brush. Ray, fighting showing a little bit smooth, but do they get it? No, misses the timing. And that is going to be AA taking the Lord once again. Concealed play from GPX, not going to be able to interject. And they are going to be forced to play defense once again.
Yeah, Ray was thinking about going for a steal, but it's just too risky. If Ray goes down, and GPS will have to bear the full force of AA, so they opt to defend against this Lord push. But it is not going to be easy. They might lose the other two inhibitor turrets that they have.
Okay, let's see what kind of items they need right now. They are starting a little bit more value here. We do see a lot of HP coming from Lancelot, but eventually HP is not going to do them any good. They need some sort of Dreadnought armor, and everyone from GPX doesn't have any of that. But even then as well, this is going to be a tough battle. But Kezu here looking for interjection, almost connects on Ziri, but he is going to be A-okay. So A8 still continues to assault. Failed attempt, but still has another try.
Yeah, the fact that Ziri was able to repulse the crowd control, very, very important, but Ray needs to survive this one. Also, is running at Ray. If he catches his Lancelot, it's going to be bad news. Meanwhile, AA Esports trying to take the fight in GPX's front door. And look at what this guy's going to be. The focus, Fondia, absolutely melted. AA Esports wants the inhibitor, but they cannot find it. GPX with an incredible defense, and Ray, he is still alive. In fact, he's winning against Ozil. This is going to give space to GPX. Now backup can come through. Ray still surviving. RP, you cannot fight him. Ziri has found the rest of A8. GPX holding on.
What the hell was that shield? Ozzy was pretty much 10% health in the bottom left of the screen, and every single time he connects his punches onto his Ray, it gives Ray a little bit of hope that he can kill him, but out of nowhere he builds up like a big margin of shield, similar to how Esmeralda was back in the days. It just shows you, in a 1v1 fight, it's really, really hard to kill Paquito off.
But the fact that Ray didn't get solo kill 2 minutes ago is great for GPX. Now you can rely on this Lancelot to keep cutting those waves. We will get a couple more minutes in this game. 65 seconds until the next Lord. And all things considered, the gold differential is just 4,000. It is not too big of a margin.
Yeah, this is huge for GPX, considering that they have been playing on the back foot for the longest time, and now with a little bit more items here, they can threaten AA and Esports, and they have to be a little bit more careful. But here comes Gasu. They go in for the catch, and they are going to completely eliminate Fredo QT. Tries to get out. Immortality keeps him alive, but absolutely nothing they can do. GPX not able to counter-engage here, especially without the Divine Judgment. 4 immortalities out of the AA Esports. Ray shows himself in the body, but there's only so much he can do. He is buying time. Kezu looking for the catch, and he's going to be A-okay. Ray still sidesteps his way through, but AA, they have to make a call. Chase him or push the lane, and in this case, they're going to chase the Lancelot, and that is going to be the rest of GPX getting some space. But Ray, look at him. Look at him go. He's got a boost. He's got so much stats, but he will eventually die in 4-man of AA Esports.
They bought so much time. Instant conceal play. Ziri out of range from the Tyrant's Revenge. Lord just spawned. The timing could not have been better for AA Esports. They will not have race to contest this Lord. GPX once more will have to defend, this time against Lord number 3. Meanwhile, topside, I think they found Watt, but Fondia, he's gonna get melted. Can Watt survive this one? Oh, Theory! It steals the Lord! GPX not ready to go down. Watt goes down, but Ziri sacrificing his life for the heroics.
Oh, what a steal coming in as well. Awesome, mistime his retribution, but the top side is not over yet. And as you can see, Fredo QT is buying to buy time, but the rest of the 80s ones are going to collapse on them. But on the sides, Kribu will get a solo kill on Richie, but he needs to back out with the Lord coming in. It is going to buy a little bit more time for GPX to come online. And RV, what are you doing? You're all by yourself. He's going to die. He's going to go for a fight, but Kribu, he survives the fight, but RV is also in danger for A8 Esports. And GPX looking to go in for the finish, but A8 Esports is still hanging on with that misplay coming in from Ozil.
The fact that Kribu got out was a blessing in disguise. GPX gets a full reset. Ray finally getting that BOD also. You see the amount of space that GPX has been able to find for themselves. That Lord was nothing more than a lifeline, but now we get another 2 minutes until the next Lord. GPX doing a fantastic job stalling out this game.
Oh, now, when it comes to the stalling game here, we have reached a stage where they need some sort of items to do with it here. But so far, we haven't seen any anti-Cuirass purchase for this Paquito. It seems like they don't really worry about it. They are still focusing on whether or not RV kills them off. But I feel like with this anti-Cuirass, it pretty much reduces all that damage output. I guess it's going to be up to Fredo QT to build out those tanky items. And once he builds into that stage, this is where it is going to be even Stevens, and this is where A8 Esports has to play a little bit more passive because Paquito is starting to lose his steam in this later stage of the game.
Yeah, they're trying to really capitalize on a snowball, right? Build full raw damage with just one-shot everyone. But we wanted GPX to stall things out, and Ziri just right on the edge of the katana, stealing the Lord away. A heartbreak, honestly, if you are A8.
Oh, did not expect it as well coming from Siri. What a clutch for GPX, especially when they're this close from taking the full series, denying A8 Esports a chance to represent Indonesia. But as of yet, it is going to be a difficult one for A8 Esports. They cannot afford to lose this game. And so far, GPX, you can see based on bottom lane, they are looking to potentially snipe the tier 2 and go in for the red strategy. And A8, they know this is the classic plays. When you have a Lancelot, when you have a Benedetta, there's just so much cross-plat plays, capabilities, and potential from GPX. Whereas A8 Esports, they can't exactly force a 5v5 fight, especially when it's gotten to this stage of the game.
And you can see A8 Esports, they're very aware of this. They don't see GPX on the map. Right? If they catch him,
oh my goodness,
important.
they do!
Swiping back into the turret, they got him.
Right at the edge, Kazu clipping at the remains of the tier 1, getting the Tyrant's Reach stun for the setup. And Ray did not expect it at all. Some next level play coming from A8 Esports. Next level precision. And now the conceal plays to interject the top side. This is how you deal with cross-map plays. Who do they kill? Fredo QT has shown himself, but what is going to be the biggest prize? Carry, no immortality. He's got the Wisdom of Nature. He's all by himself. 1v4. Nothing he can do. But at the same time, the Lord is going to be out for grabs. But GPX pressuring the bottom lane with the Benedetta. And this is the cross-map plays we're talking about. Eventually, the Lord will be secured by A8 Esports. But GPX, they might lose an inhibitor, and they will.
Decent trade from GPX. Again, at the end of the day, they lose the Lord. They had to defend against this. They've done it before. And they were able to stabilize that bottom side, get that inhibitor trade. So all in all, GPX still got something out of it. RFE just got purchased immortality as well. Lord spawning bottom side, GPX should be able to deal with that no problem. And Ziri just cutting across the map as fast as possible. Just now, Fredo QT actually went for Flicker, Divine Judgment onto Fondia, but they couldn't get the kill. That's why Watt ended up going down. Now they have the full force of GPX on the top side. Fondia finding Kribu, instantly going into that ultimate. Ziri cutting through the backline again. Fredo QT wants to help, but Kribu stuck on and deleted.
how unfortunate. They needed the Lunox in this fight, but it is not over yet. They've got 3 immortalities. Ray doesn't have his. With the Lord coming in with 20 minutes in the game, A8 Esports might be able to tie the series here despite losing a disqualification for game 1. But now with the jump comes in, the Tyrant's Reach is there. It's all out brawls, but the Lord making work on the Crystal. And R3 says, I don't care. I'm taking the Crystal. I'm tying the series, and it will take 1 game against GPX in this series.
It all leads to this. We still have to go the distance. And AA very, very much warmed up, debuting the Paquito jungle in the most important series and pushing us to that game 3. GPX, they had a free one, but now it's all back to square one. Doesn't matter anymore.